Mean, median, mode, or range. Okay, good. I mean, you should have by now. So we are gonna spend a couple days on mean, median, mode, range. Today, we're gonna talk about all four, and then the remainder of the class period is we need to focus finding the mean, because ultimately that is the hardest one. No, you are not gonna be using a calculator, so please do not ask. You will have an opportunity to work with a partner on some of the work today, and then you will have an exit ticket, and you will have some work tonight. Okay, so that's kind of the gist of what today is going to be. So we are going to be using this data right here to find the mean, the median, mode, and the range. All right, so look over your paper. We're not going to cut anything because we struggle when we cut anything. So just go ahead and open up the flat. And we're going to talk about each one. So talking about the mean, you want to think about the average. So when you find the mean, you find the average of, the group of numbers that you have. So to find the mean, you have to add all the values and then divide by the number of values, which means divide by the number of numbers. All right, so go ahead and across the top here where it says example problem, we're going to find the mean of the numbers. I'm going to tell you the numbers and I want you to write them. Now, sometimes people are like, well, I don't have to put them in order least to greatest. And technically I agree with you. But if you're finding the mean, the median, the mode, and the range, it's easy just to get into the habit of always putting your data in numerical order from least to greatest. So I do want you to do that when I call these numbers out to you. So you guys are writing them. So it's going to be 83, 86, 91, 92, 94, 99, 99, 100. Alright, so someone was so kindly tell me it was 83,
86, 91, 92,
92.
Yep.
yeah,
94, 99, 99, 100.
Okay, perfect. Alright, so now we don't have to put back and forth. We will have this list in order from least to greatest. Again, I'm not going to tell you have to, I'm just going to tell you it's a really good habit to. Because technically we don't need to put our numbers in order least to greatest when we find the mean, but again, it's one of those things where it just looks a little bit prettier. Alright, so you are going to add all of these up, so go ahead, add 83 plus 86 plus 91 plus 92 plus 94 plus 99 plus 99 plus 100. Or raise your hand. Actually, stand up when you have your answer. Again, stand up when you have this answer. sheet. Who wants to tell me what they got when they added these numbers up? Alright, Cooper L. 744. Alright, so we've done step number 1, we've added them up, and then we need to divide 744 by what? Focus on.
By 8 with the number of values.
Alright, so go ahead, divide it by 8. Again, stand up when you have your answer. If you're standing up, that means you did not follow directions. Alright, let's see. Let's get you 744 divided by 8. Charles? So 93 is the mean or the average of the test scores from this example. Alright, so that is essentially the process in which you find mean. Mean is not necessarily hard, but there are so many places to make mistakes. Okay? Alright, let's go down to the median. Alright, median, I want you to think about the middle. Alright, you're going to put your numbers in order least to greatest. And you're going to mark off high to low until you reach the middle. If there are 2 numbers in the middle, add them and divide by 2. What?
I never knew that step. Yeah.
What step?
The divide by 2. I've always just.
Well, probably because in 5th grade, they always gave you an odd number in your set.
They did.
But now in 6th grade, you're gonna get even numbers, so you're essentially gonna have to find the mean of the 2 numbers in the middle, and that is your median.
I usually just found like what the middle of the two numbers are. Like I would be like, okay, like it's 93 and 90, and then like 90, 93, 91, 92. And I just do 91.5.
Which is fine, I mean, that might be the same thing, it's just, this is another step. Yes?
For one, shouldn't it be put numbers in order from these series?
Yeah, same thing,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's
That's what she said.
Where's the what at? Alright, now, we've already done that, but yes, you are rewriting your numbers over here, so you're just copying it from the top up here. You have 83, 86, 91, 92, 94, 99, 99, 100. Now, I am gonna use a different color, I'm just a very visual person. So we're gonna cross off front to back, or you can go back to front. But don't cross off front, 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 or back, 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 and think that you're gonna find it because it's not gonna work. So you're gonna start front to back, front to back, front to back. And then now you're left with 2 numbers. Now, 99% of us can look at 92 and 94 and say, oh, I know what number is in between those 2. If you can't, that's okay. I'm gonna show you how to figure it out. Excuse me, because it is not always going to be that easy. So we're looking at step number 3 for this one. You're gonna do 92 plus 94. Raise your hand and tell me, what do you get when you do 92 plus 94? Caleb?
186.
And then it tells me that I'm going to divide by 2. So 186 divided by 2 gives me what? Kaylee?
93.
93. So our median is 93. So that is the number that is in the middle of our data set. Even though it's technically not in our data set, it is in the middle. Now, something you should notice. Your mean and your median should be fairly close. If your median is like 98, 99, you've done something wrong. Because they measure the middle of your data, the center of your data. You're going to hear that a little bit more. The mode and the range measures the spread and the mode. But those are the two things that you're going to hear. You're going to hear measure of center and you're going to hear spread. Again, measure of center, mean and median. Measure of spread is your range. All right, let's slide down to mode. So with mode, you're going to think most, capital most, and then often. Or appears the most, or why is this thing crooked? Just mode most is what I try to always tell them. So again, put your numbers in order from least to greatest and find the number that appears the most. There may be more than one mode or there may be none. There's never zero. There's never zero mode. If there's no mode, then there's just none. If there's a number that appears the most, the same amount of times, then those would be your mode. All right, so again, we're putting our numbers in order, least to greatest. So we have 83, 86, 91, 92, 94, 99, 99, 100. Now, please, raise your hand to tell me which number or numbers appear the most. Jeremiah.
99.
So we have two 99s, so the mode equals 99. All right, questions about mode? All right, and then the last one is range. So think high minus low, or spread. So you're putting your numbers in order from least to greatest. Again, and then you're going to subtract the lowest number from the highest number. So again, we're doing 83, 86, 91, 92, 94, 99, 99, and 100. What is my highest number? 100. What is my lowest number?
83.
Raise your hand. Actually, stand up when you have your answer. Can you throw it outside? What is it?
Did you
No,
kill
I have
it?
to bite you.
it's just in
In your eye?
my hand.
Why is it?
Because she started flipping out about it.
Why are you holding bugs hostage? You know what that means? They're going to
They
haunt
eat
you.
mosquitoes. Let it free, bro.
Don't kill it.
Huh?
Don't kill it.
Put it outside.
Don't put it outside. Be quiet.
Be free!
All right. River, what was your answer? 17. 17. So the range. Range equals 17. All right, go ahead and you are going to need this. You can put it in your notebook, but do not get rid of it. like. So don't just turn a page and then don't look at it, you are gonna need it. But I would like you to glue it in so that you do not lose it. You're gluing down the side that has the scores on it. Alright, so now we are going to move on to the classwork. You are going to need a pen, marker, highlighter, something, because these are word problems. And you are going to have to annotate. Alright, so it says, a group of middle school students answered the question, how many movies did you watch last month? The table shows their data. So for 1A, it says use the movie data to find each of the following. So 1A, you're finding the total number of students, the total number of movies watched, and then the mean number of movies watched. So how many students altogether are there? How many students altogether are there? Brock. So there are 10 students. Okay. What is the total number of movies that they watch? Corbin? Yep. Yep. Okay, so we have 10 students. There were 40 movies that were watched. What is the mean number of movies watched? So we kind of did the hard work already, didn't we? So all you're doing is doing 40 divided by what? 10. Raise your hand when you figure out the mean. Cooper. 4. So 4 movies. That is the mean of our data. Alright, how many of you guys have gotten to statistics on Imagine Math? If you're in 7th grade, you should raise your hand because you definitely got to statistics. If you're still in 6th grade, you may or may not have.
Oh, no.
Okay, so the next little part we're going to talk about outliers. Or you're going to hear this word outliers today and tomorrow. So it says a new value is added for Carlos, who was home with last month with a broken leg. He watched 37 movies. Is the new value an outlier? And explain why it is or why it is not. All right, Ace?
It is because it's a lot higher than all the rest of them.
Yes, because can we use a few like mathematical words like data? Can we use that instead of like?
Not really, that's how I explain it.
Right, but I'm essentially telling you we're going to use slightly different mathematical words. Because it is, you said far away from the numbers?
Yes.
Far away from the other
Or its
Data.
values.
data values in our set. Because you do need to start using the words data. You need to start using the words value. You need to start understanding outliers, that kind of thing. So yes, an outlier is a number, like if we did our dot plot, we talked about this yesterday, right? Or a couple days ago when we did this. And
Yeah.
let's say someone sharpened their pencil all the way down, sitting an eraser, bless you. This is your outlier. It's really far away from the rest of the data. Does that make sense? So visually, this is what it looks like. On there, our numbers range from what, 0 to 7, 0 to 8,
Yeah.
and then 37. So it would be, again, it would be super far away from the rest of the data. All right, B says, what is the mean of the data now? So how do we figure this out? Like, how do we not have to go back through and figure out add up all the numbers again? What do we need to do to figure out this process? Cooper?
You take the movies that were originally and then add 37 and
So-
then divide.
40 plus 37, and you get 77. And then what are we dividing it by?
You're dividing it still by, oh no, because he's a new student, so you'll be dividing it by 11.
Yes. Good job. All right, so, and make sure that you don't do that and say, oh, well, you're still dividing it by the same number. No, you're not, because we've added a new value in, which means we've added a new additional, like, data set in. So, 77 divided by 11 gives us 7 movies now. All right, C says compare the mean question from 1 to the new mean. What do you notice? So, looking at this mean of 4 movies to the new mean, what do you notice? Go ahead and just write it down, and then we'll talk about it. I'll give you like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Stand up when you're done. About 30 more seconds. All right, have a seat. So what did we notice about the mean? What happened to it? Talk about that. What happened to it, Jack?
The mean increased with the outlier.
So it increased. How much did it increase by?
33.
Okay. What else did you notice? Cooper.
I noticed that because he watched 57, but the original from all 10 was 40. That nearly doubled in size, because like 40 plus 40. And then the mean nearly doubled too.
All right, perfect. All right, slide over to number 3. So it says movie data for 6 more students are added. So put your pencils down. Are any of these new data values outliers? Explain. What is the mean of the data now? Show your work and remember to include Carlos. And compare the mean you found in question 1 and 2 to the new mean. What do you notice and explain? So you are completing these 3, A, B, and C with your group members. All right, you're gonna get 4 minutes. So that means you're not sitting there socializing about all the movies you've watched. You're answering the questions. Go.
No, because all of the numbers are
What's the mean of the data now?
Okay, so it's 77, 16. So just it's 77. So 15 is 77 plus 25. 15 plus 10. 77 plus 25. 77 plus 25. Yeah. Plus 25 is 102.
So it'd be 11.
No, 17.
No, it's just Carlos. It's not my sisters make fun of him. And he watched 37. Yeah, and Carlos the one that watched 37. Yeah, but it's also
The answer is 6. Oh, the mean is less. Oh, the mean. Wait.
yeah, it's oh, it's 20. Wait, hold on. Okay. It's 7.
All the numbers were added and
Because there were a bunch of small words.
So if you add an outlier,
Because they're added.
will increase the mean, but if
I don't know if divide by
but
that.
if you put in like the numbers are like inside the data set, then our outliers are like
It'll be 7.
Can we write the number increased by 3? Just do the work on the paper because that's what you're supposed to be doing because you have to show your work. You see what I'm saying? Okay, fix your attitude outside. I'm not doing it today, son. Go outside until you're ready to not have an attitude. Don't take your paper. You're not going anywhere. Go outside so you can get it together.
the mean decreased to 6.
Okay, yeah, so for me, I got 6 for the mean.
Oh wait, no, hold on. You make it right. You make it right.
Because 102 divided by 17.
He's right. No, he's right.
Yes.
Ethan, are you sure you?
Yeah.
Right. Ethan, are you sure you don't want to join the fraternity?
They're both Miss Skinny. Do we stand up and speak every time you add more?
Yeah, you have 30 seconds left.
You add more data.
Sorry, you stand up and put it up.
Oh, we yeah.
Oh no, you tried. It's because it says Carlos because they're having like they have one as many as Carlos. Carlos is scary.
No, we only have one.
The data sheet.
Alright, let's go ahead and go over these. So, for A, are any of these new data values outliers? Explain why they are or why they are not. Alright, Haley.
they're not because they're not in the same data as the ones on the table.
Say it again.
No, they're not because they're in the same data space as the ones on the table.
You're sharing the same data spaces as the
She's
ones.
like, she's saying that it's already in the table, so it's not outliers.
So it's clustered around or it's in a similar
Yeah.
location?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what is the mean of the data now? So what was your total when you added up these new totals plus your old total? Christian? Okay, and then what are you dividing 102 by?
17.
Okay, and what does that give you now?
6.
So 6 movies is your new, mean. How many of you guys got that right? Okay, perfect. All right, compare the means you found in questions number 1 and number 2 to this new mean. What do you notice? So what did you notice about our mean in the first question, our mean in the second question, and our mean in the third question? Cooper?
Well, first, when we added the outlier, it got a lot bigger. But for this one, it decreased by 1 because a bunch of like small numbers were added, basically making it so we divided by a larger number, but it didn't add a whole lot to the actual total.
You said because we added a lot more numbers.
A lot of small numbers, which added to what we divided. But
Okay, perfect. All right, number 4 says use the work you completed in questions 1 through 3 to answer the following questions. Pencils are down. All right, so question number 4A says what happens to the mean of a data set when you add 1 or more data values that are outliers? Explain. Think about what happened, or what would happen to the mean of the data set to the right if a stack of 30 cubes was added to the data set. So they're just giving you an example. B says what happens to the mean of a data set when you add excuse me, data values that are similar in value to the original data set. Explain. And then C, explain why you think these changes might occur. All right, so you're taking everything that we've done in 1, 2, and 3 and kind of putting it all together at this point. Okay? You may work with your group or you may work independently to answer this question. I'm gonna give you, or these questions, I'm gonna give you 4 minutes. Go. Okay, for the first one, we need to highlight.
So, I think they would. Okay, so what happened, the reason why the data was added one more
Okay, so I would say.
Oh, it gets bigger because you are adding, more to the clear, so the total number
You're adding
is less,
a larger number.
so 30 is what you're dividing.
That means when you divide it.
Unless in yours got small. So I would say like it gets bigger.
Yeah,
So basically what you're only saying is even bigger.
yeah, it would depend on if it's like, say we're taking both for instance, and plus with all these other, ones, they'll probably increase a bit, but now like it's still a lot.
So it was.
It would
Increase.
The mean gets bigger.
Similar in value.
Everybody on the same
Do you want to say number?
Okay, what happens to the mean when it decreases because you're not adding that much to the total, but you're adding you're adding a lot to
That's your
Yeah, this is the lower chair.
It's
Like
just-
of
yeah.
all of them, this yeah, that's the lower.
Oh, I think the structure's still broken, but it still works.
One time I switched my
That's
chair,
what
so I
happened to
went
my
to
chair.
sit in that one.
And
Yeah.
then the little numbers,
That's what happened to my chair.
and it ended up being smaller than the one it was.
No, it was probably.
But I would say
No, the 30 would have
So, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, it was probably.
See, I'm really Thank you. It actually depends on which number is.
Worse than what they are.
It was like an outlier.
Like, adding two and making it.
I was about to just like circle the six, that's basically what
I mean, and for the last question, you highlight
Jack, are those legible explanations on your paper?
Where are you saying like elegant?
Legible, just like you can read them.
bigger numbers, like,
I can explain it to you.
Not
I
really.
can explain it to you.
I can't read that.
Jack has his own. Why y'all taking my paper?
But the number
when added an outlier, are those letter numbers 37?
what?
Alright, let's go ahead and go over these. 4A. What did we say would happen to a data set if we added one or more data values that are outliers? Caleb.
It would increase because it adds like more to like the total number you have, and less to like how much you're dividing by.
Say that again.
Okay, so basically, like, if you have an outlier, that's kind of like the 37 movies that Carlos watched. It adds more to, like, the total of the subjects that you have, like, movies, and less to how many, like, you're dividing by.
Alright, it would increase because you're adding a larger value with less what?
With, less than, like, you would divide it by.
Okay. Alright, B, it says what happens to the mean of a data set when you add data values that are similar in value to the original data set?
we said that it increases by smaller values than outliers will increase.
Why?
Because with this, the problem that we just did, whenever we added the outliers, it made it increase by 3. But whenever we added, the values that were in the value data set, it just increased by 2, so it was smaller.
So it increases by smaller values than large outliers. But why? I mean, you're right, but why?
Because it's only adding smaller numbers and dividing by bigger numbers than this one. Like it's adding the numbers that are in the value data set, and it just, there's a lot of numbers that it's adding. It gets divided by larger numbers.
Alright, increase the best smaller values in the line of outlier because the numbers are similar values,
Yes.
which doesn't increase a great deal. Alright, it's kinda like a happy medium. Alright, last one. Explain why you think these changes might occur. So why do you think with an outlier it goes and it changes so much, and why do you think with similar values it doesn't change as much? Why did you put your hand down?
I'm stretching. So I had,
You what?
huh? Huh?
Who said don't stop talking?
Whoever said I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I said because that's, we already did it and we know how it works. That's what we did earlier, we figured out.
But explain why it happens. Why do you
Oh.
get such a big
Oh.
jump in your mean when you have an outlier and such a small jump in your mean when you have a
Because you have to divide by less numbers than adding a bunch of them, but you're having a bigger value. So your outcome's gonna be bigger.
and
For why it becomes smaller? Because it's more values that have to divide by, and it's increasing by smaller numbers.
divided by more numbers
The
Less.
smaller.
for smaller value. Alright, so hopefully you have a little bit better understanding of mean and outliers. Kind of what this lesson was about today. So please go ahead and glue this into excuse me, your classwork page in your notebook. Alright, now I have passed out your exit ticket. You are going to be turning that into me on the back table. And then you are going to be getting your homework for tonight, which is this. Okay? So when you're done with your practice, or with your, whatever that thing's called, exit ticket, you're bringing it to me and you're getting your homework. That is what you're working on. Real quick, before you start your exit ticket, word problems need to be what? Annotated. I wanted to praise Gabriel because he was annotating like crazy. I think all the craziness for me has finally gotten to him and he's realized, hey, if I just do it, she's not gonna yell at me. So thank you, Gabriel, for doing that. You have 2 less Imagine Math lessons that you have to do this week. So, make sure you are doing your annotating on this. Alright, go ahead and get started.